Afternoon Drive on the Watchdog.
Get ready, bam-a-lam, get ready to ride. Whoa, get ready, bam-a-lam, whoa, get ready, bam-a-lam, whoa, get ready, bam-a-lam, get ready to ride. Bam-a-lam, get ready to ride. Bam-a-lam, get ready worldwide.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Watchdog Afternoon Drive. My name is DJ Danner, taking you through right up until 5 p.m. right here on FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX, FM WVLY 97.7, AM 1370. Let me be the first to wish everyone out there a happy Thanksgiving. This is the only day during the week, of course, I am here. So, of course, Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday. And we have an exciting show for you here this afternoon. We're going to talk about what happened to Kyle. Kyle's my live turkey friend. He's not here in the studio. We're going to talk about why that is. But I'll tell you what is here. What is here is 3 2-pound turkeys out in the bed of my truck right now.
2 pound?
2 pound. We are stuffing turkeys on the radio here today. Yes.
A 2-pound turkey?
2-pound turkey, which means we got 3 of them, which means that's 6 total pounds. Yes. Actually, no, I think they're like 1.87 pounds.
How'd you find such a little turkey?
Guess how much I got them for? I got them for $4.21.
For all 3?
Per one, yes.
Oh, per.
Per. So I spent the whole project, Lola, cost me about $100. And I've got the seasonings, I've got the vegetables, I got some fruits, I got plates, I got all the stuff that we need to stuff a turkey. I actually called my dad today. I said, look, did I do this wrong already? Because I was reading online Google that I might have already screwed up, but he said, no, you're good. So I bought the turkeys on Monday at Kroger's, shout out to Kroger's, and I took it home and I put it in the fridge. Well, I dropped little man off last night around 6, went home, and they still felt like they were frozen. So I pulled them out, and I left them out all night.
Very good.
And then I put them back in the fridge this morning. Well, then I was Googling, recipes, how can we stuff it, this and that, and it says, somebody was like commenting on, not on social media, but just on Google, it was like, don't ever leave your turkey out all night, I just throw it away, and I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, I'm like, oh God, this is bad. And I was debating, I'm like, do I tell everybody the truth? I said, maybe I'll just take my turkey and just throw it away after we're done stuffing it, and everybody else can take it home and be the guinea pigs. But no, we're safe. Dad said we're safe.
Yeah.
And we're good to go.
If it was frozen,
I know.
Yeah,
Lola,
if
I gotta be
it were a
honest
fresh
with
turkey, you're not going to leave it out all night.
Lola disappointed me, though, a little bit when I walked in. She's like, I'm not stuffing no turkey on the radio. So, but we have surprise guests coming in throughout the whole course of the day.
Okay.
First, Lola, I want to clear the air right now on everything that happened over the weekend, because I know a lot of people have questions. How did it come about? And there's a few folks I'm pretty sure might be a little ticked off, and we're gonna address how everything came about. So Lola has no idea. She doesn't follow me on Facebook on DJ Danner, which is fine. I know she doesn't follow me on there, so she has no idea what happened over the weekend.
Anybody.
So
Yeah, it's not just you, DJ.
No, I know it's everybody.
I don't.
It's everybody. I got you. So it all traces back to last Saturday, in which we're going to talk about sports at 3 o'clock window. You guys know how I roll the show. So we got done with Oakland, not this past Saturday, the Saturday before that. And Wheeling Central, Wheeling Park had all been eliminated from the playoffs, along with John Marshall. So I knew there was no other team left in the Ohio Valley other than Oakland. So I talked to their AD that night, and I said, look, if you guys pull a Saturday game, I can't do it because I've got a wedding. I'm already under contract, which that ended up being my last one of the year as of right now, because everything else had to get canceled because of where we're at with COVID right now. We'll talk about Saturday later on. So we get back to that Saturday last week. I told Kevin, I said, look, if the team they're playing picks Friday, we'll be here, we'll cover it. But if that team picks Saturday, I said, guess what we're doing? I said, we're building a float. I said, I don't care. I said, we're building a float. And he goes, for what? And I was like, they canceled the Wheeling Christmas Parade. And I said, I've got to do something. I said, I'm trying to show this valley that, we'll be okay. We'll get through this together. music can save the soul in so many ways. And ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you right now, it saved this soul countless times. And I told Kevin, I said, I don't care. I said, I don't care if we get shut down. I said, we're gonna build a float. So we met that next day on Sunday, and we met at Generations, and we talked about it. He goes, what's your design? I said, give me a couple days. I said, let's wait and see how the weather turns out. I said, the less people know about this, the better. So that way I'm not gonna, because I feel like if anybody finds out, I'm gonna get shut down. Lola, we got done Tuesday. Here at the show, I went up to Quaker Steak, and I started then kind of mapping. And once I knew the weather was gonna be clear, we were not gonna have any problems, started kind of getting an idea in my head about designing it. Ran into a city worker up there, shall remain nameless. He was with his wife, and I've known them for years. And I told him, he goes, do it. He goes, I love the idea. And he goes, I might leave you some extension cords. And he goes, I don't see nothing, I don't hear nothing. I said, all right, I appreciate it. I was thinking at the time, I was like, man, I was it'd be pretty cool to kind of maybe have a grand marshal. And I thought of the boys at Wheeling Central, the boys at Wheeling Park, and I was like, maybe I'll pull one of the kids from each team. Coaches can't find out about it, though, because coaches are going to have to say no. So, this thing has to be to a T, done correctly before anybody finds out, because they're automatically going to say, no, you're not doing it. We're going to shut you down the process. So we get through Tuesday. I come up with the idea of how I'm going to do it. And then Wednesday, Wednesday I find out some tragic news, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. And we get to Thursday. Obviously I have a little man during the week, so the week was crazy. Which he was in here last week. It was bring your kid to work day. Not today. He's not here today. But God love him. We got through that. So I got done with him on Thursday, and we went to Lowe's, kind of looked at pricing, how much everything was going to cost to build it. Called up a buddy of mine, Matt Weiss. Matt, you give Matt a shout out. Matt's like, take the trailer, it's fine. And I thought I had one lined up already by somebody else, but that person was freaking out about getting arrested, getting a ticket. And I'm like, we got this, it's okay. Ended up going out to Chaps Thursday night because we had somebody else that was gonna be potentially involved that was playing out there. And I was like, okay. And I had talked to my buddy Buck Porter. Shout out to Buck. Buck has a generator. Buck's let me use the generator multiple times. And I said, okay. I said, do you mind? He goes, yeah. He goes, sends me a picture. He goes, look who I'm seeing right now. And I said, oh, that's perfect. I'm coming out there. So I go out there, see him, and it's it's a nice little party. Everybody's got to wear their masks, of course, but there's live music. Easy Street was the band playing. Shout out to them. It was great seeing those guys. I only saw them for about 30 minutes. And, I talked to Buck, and we started talking about what I'd heard on Wednesday. And I said, I'm trying if I can find a Santa. And then that's when I had contacted the lovely lady that's in here today, Trisha from Cape Sierra. Trisha, first, welcome to the show, by the way.
Thank you.
And you can pull that up more, talk right into it. You're good. I just want to make sure that the viewers and the ones watching on social media and the ones listening on the radio, wherever they're at, whether they're at their house, in their car driving, or in the office, can see you. But Trisha and me have worked together for several. We've worked together for several years now on different things. Like when I do my Easter event, my craft treats and things with the Easter Bunny down at Grandview, she's the one I call for that. Talk about what you have right now. Let the general public kind of know that don't already know you.
Well, we have Capes and Sierra's fantasy birthday parties. We do events, characters for children's birthday parties and events. Our largest event is the Princess Tea. And recently we just contracted with a Sports Highlands complex.
That's awesome.
So that we'll be the official character for birthday parties up there.
And that's all, and rightfully so, you should be. You're the best in the business. I've always admired your work ethic, and I know your husband and you very well. Your husband, of course, worked with us as Santa Claus.
True.
A couple years back, we had a commercial shoot for the Cupid's Love Struck Bridal Show. I said I wanted it related towards Christmas for at least the announcement, and it turned out great. But your husband is also, can I say what he does for a living or no? Probably not?
Let's not.
So let's not say what her husband does for a living, but he's a great guy. I got mad respect, and I had called you, and I said, hey, look, I need a Santa. I said, is this Paul? And I told you the reason why. Mm-hmm. And, you thought it was not going to be a good idea because, obviously, of his job. And I said, I agree 100%. I said, I thought maybe you don't have a backup. She goes, no, that's my go-to guy. Is my husband. He's the best at it. But you did offer, I'll give you the clothes if you find somebody.
Yes, if you can find
I
somebody
can
that suits all yours.
So thanks to Buck telling me where he was at that night on Thursday. So I go out Thursday night. I see obviously Easy Street. I see him. And then I see Caleric. And Caleric, I love to party. His daughter models for me. I mean, she's a friend of mine too. I've got to know the family real well. And he's a partier. He's there, he's drinking a couple beers, having a good time. And I was like, what are you doing tomorrow night? And I talked him into being Santa. And then I told him the other reason why I needed him. And he was like, 100%. He goes, I'm in for that, for sure. And he goes, but I'll do whatever you need. He goes, I appreciate, you ask me and I support you. So we had everybody pretty much in place. I thought I had a driver in place, and then that fell through Friday morning. So, Kevin's calling Woody, and shout out to our friend Woody. Woody was our driver, and I said, Woody, whatever happens, I said, listen, I'll take the ticket. I'll take the fine. I'll take whatever. I said, just keep going till you're forced to stop. I said, I don't care. And he goes, I got you, DJ. So Woody's driving. We build the float. Kevin, my dad comes down in the afternoon. And I said, I need you to come pick up Kellen's stuff. Because his mom was like, do you want him on Friday night? She told me this on Wednesday. She has no idea what I'm doing on Friday. I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, this is perfect. I'll set my mom and him up somewhere in downtown Wheeling, and he could watch the parade for the first time. So I got the chairs, I got the blankets. I was like, Dad, go get some hot chocolate for him, pick him up this time. So he comes, he has no idea what's going on. He sees the trailer, sees we're starting to build stuff. He goes, what the bleep are you doing now? And I'm like, I don't care. I'm building a float, and we're going downtown. And he goes, God bleeping. He goes, you need to get a real job. He goes, normal job. He said, you need to get a normal job. He goes, are you kidding me right now? And I said, nope. I said, we're doing it. And I said, this is what I need you to do. So, he was cool with it, but he just kept shaking his head. He said, God dang it, boy. And I'm like, it's not the first time he said something like that to me for sure. So I get him situated with what they're going to do with my mom and my son. And at the same time, I get a text message from the city building. Or not city building, I'm sorry. I get a text message from one of the city workers. It was like, hey, do you know that this is being planned the same night? And I said, no. I said, I didn't know anything about it. So I texted this guy, Dave McLeod. I think I pronounced his name right. I hope I did. Dave had organized a Jeep run. And there was going to be about maybe, he thought maybe eight Jeeps. I think they had about 18 to 25 Jeeps in all. Mm-hmm. They were meeting down at Lowe's. They were going down, which we'll talk about in a second. They were going down somewhere, and then they were going to go up through town, and then they were going to keep going to Woodsdale. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that. But I told him, I said, I just want to be honest with you what's going on. I said, I'm planning on leaving my aunt's house, she lives right by the police barracks down in Center Wheeling, right by Dairy Queen, like right up before that. And I'm like, and at this time, we're building this float. Obviously, we're drawing attention. So I'm like, don't blow anything up right now because we're just going to draw more and more attention. Cops are driving by all day. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, man, please just don't pull over right now. I mean, it's clear as day heading up to Route 2. You see what I'm doing, And, we get through, and I get a hold of Dave, and I tell him, I'm like, hey, you guys have a Santa? He goes, no. I said, okay. I said, I have a Santa. And I said, I originally wanted to go up downtown Wheeling, down through, and then go do what you guys are doing first. He goes, we might be able to, he goes, we'll see let's just play it out and see where things are at. I'm like, okay. So it's 6:30. I call him, I said, we're just going to come down to Lowe's now. So I go down to Lowe's, and I see everybody there, and I'm like, man, we have to just go with these guys down to where we went. And I told him, I said, look, we'll go down with you. I said, as long as you do me a favor. I said, when we get to Coleman's, I said, let me jump out front. Because you guys are going to go faster, and I can't do that. And I said, plus I'm cutting down to go towards the Capitol, like the normal route to the parade, and you guys are heading to Woodsdale. He goes, well, we might just stay with you then. And he goes, we'll just go to we'll go to Warwood or Woodsdale, wherever he's going. We'll do that after. And I'm like, all right, perfect. So back to Wednesday, I'm going to try to keep it together with this. I think I'll be able to. I apologize if you see me cry at any point within the next hour, but a little boy, got some bad news a week ago, and I know the family real well. I grew up down South Wheeling, and I'm proud to say that. I mean, South Wheeling, my roots start down there. And, I texted Dwayne Friday, and I said, hey, this is what I'm planning on doing. And I said, we might come down afterwards around 8:30. I said, do you care? He goes, no. He goes, I'll get little man rested, find out, we'll wake him up, and that way he can see it. I didn't tell him we were coming with the Jeep people after we made the change, because I know he's phone's blowing up, everybody's asking. I mean, by Wednesday they made the announcement. They brought him home from the school, or from the hospital, and there was nothing more they could do. It was just however long he was going to be able to hang on is the card that was dealt to their family, and it was devastating. And, the Jeep company, the Jeep guys, they bolted so far down. They went so fast. We couldn't catch up to them because we have obviously the float, and we had to go smaller. So they get through. Right as they get through, we just turn a corner. And then we get down there, and Santa, Bruce bought him a gift. And I said, great. I said, I got this box. I said, I'm just going to hand this box to you, and then you can take it in. I didn't know if he was going to be in the house, if he was going to be outside, what was going on. Clearly, he was not able to come outside. So he was watching through the window, and we stopped, and we were playing all Christmas music. B.E. Taylor was playing right when we got there. Before that, we were playing Rascal Flatts' Jingle Bell Rocks. And, I said, Mr. Clear, come on off, and here, you can take this in. So he took it in and gave him a hug and got a picture taken with him. So he got to see, Declan got to see Santa and got a gift. And then, as he's coming out, his mom, which like I said, we all grew up down South Wheeling. His mom's about 2 years younger than me, I think. And, she, gave me a hug, and it was very emotional. It's hard for me to keep it together at that point because she's bawling. And, Bobby O'Connell, see Bobby, and Bobby, gives me a fist pump. We give candy canes to the kids around the area, and we leave. And, 7, I think, was there, or 9 was there. And Kevin, looked at me. He goes, station. I don't care. I said, I don't want nothing mentioned. I said, I'm not doing this for publicity. This is not some marketing stunt. I said, like I said, I told you guys a little bit ago, my roots go back to South Wheeling. And, we always give back. I always try to give back to the community, obviously. And nobody, I think, gives back more than Christine up at Quaker Steak. With what she does up there, it's on another level. But I told Kevin on Wednesday when we started doing the idea for the parade to go up to Wheeling, I'm like, I got to go see this little boy. I said, I just found out on Wednesday. So the way everything went, we stuck with it down there, turned around, ended up going down, back up to Coleman's to kind of greet the guys up there. Met those guys at, I think it was Family Dollar, turned down Coleman's, and I'm getting text messages, hey, or, when's the parade start? And I'm like, what? I'm like, we're not, There was actually people on the streets. People, I got calls all day. They were like, and I said, it's just me. And they were like, we don't care. We're going to have our kids down. And I was like, all right, yeah. I was like, we're going to live stream it, So we live stream it. And the playlist was legit powerful. I had the American flag. I was walking. The float was in front of me. Cyrus coming in later. Cyrus was doing the camera. Kevin's the elf. He's dressed up in an elf costume. Woody's driving. Woody's in a festive shirt. And then we got Santa Claus on there. And we start live feeding. And the truck was synced through my phone. So you heard what the radio station was playing. He's playing like 97.3, which I don't mean to name drop another station, but I'm just trying to tell you the story. So I had no idea that the radio station, and I'm sitting there, the song, I'll tell you, I wanted to tell you, and then I don't want to tell you, because the long story short, I'm going to save that playlist for next year, and hopefully I'm allowed in the parade. And we had just some powerful, uplifting songs before we turned it into Christmas music, and nobody heard them, other than if you were on the streets, you heard what I played. And we get up to downtown Wheeling, and we make that turn off that little bridge, and we're getting ready to pass Northern. And Lola, Trisha, I'll tell you right now, when you make that turn and you see however many people normally are there, it's a rush.
Yeah.
It is a rush because everybody's watching you. To me, it goes back to night before Thanksgiving, playing at Jamboree in the Hills, playing any concert, playing a high school dance that had about 600 kids. any type of those. I mean, it had that type of feel. It was like you had chills. Still felt that making that turn. Still felt that even though it was empty. I mean, there was a few people, but I mean, like it wasn't jam packed, obviously. So Lola, I had in my back of my head, I had Gage Joseph, and I had two other musicians, shall remain nameless because they didn't want to participate. Gage was on the corner of Northern, and I said, "You're gonna sit there with your guitar." I said, "I'm gonna pick you up. You're gonna jump up on my float." And I said, "We're gonna keep the live feed going. You're gonna sing on my float." And his mom was worried about it too. I mean, she was like, "I don't know if," and I said, "I'll take responsibility. It's fine." He gets on the float. Here comes a statey. And he just pulls up and just cuts sideways. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, we're getting shut down right now. And I'm like thinking, I have a minor on the bed of my truck, or in a flatbed. Nobody's got seatbelts on. It's like we're just doing our own thing. And I'm like, this guy's gonna. And then Wheeling Cop goes up the street. And then another one's coming down the other street. And I'm like, oh my God, they got me kind of boxed in here. I don't know what the heck's going on. And I have to get off. I mean, like, Woody can't drive. Like, he blocks it. So, I get off the float, and I'm just like, oh, this is not good. And I went up, and he comes out, cop comes out. And I said, sir, you got to do what you got to do. I said, I respect it. I said, I'm just trying. He goes, no. He goes, I'm not here to shut you down. He goes, I'm here to give you an escort. He goes, I want to know.
See, you always assume the worst.
He goes, I want to know where you're going. And I was like, are you serious? And then I reached out my hand. I have no idea what that officer's name is. I have no idea what that officer's name was. I plan on emailing them after today's show, along with a few other people. And, I said, we're just going up the normal route. I said, we're cutting down by and I was flabbergasted at the point. I mean, it was hard for me to talk. And I still had my mask on and everything. I was being safe. And Woody finally told me, he was like, yeah, we're turning off where the parking lot is. And I said, yeah. I said, look, my mom and my son are at the Capitol Theater. Because that's where I told my dad to take them. I said, put them at the Capitol Theater. And put them in the lawn chairs with blankets and their hot chocolate, whatever. And I said, let them watch there. Don't tell them what's going on. My mom's pretty smart. She knew something was up. She kind of had an idea what was going on. But, so he's like, okay. He goes, when you're ready to go, tell your driver to go ahead and start, and then I'll start it. We went up and down Main Street. All the way, the normal route. We went up. Well, we had some people, like I said, out in the street. Then we were live feeding it. Finally, some people were commenting. They're like, hey, we can't hear Gage. So then I had to flip it. I finally realized what was going on. It was sinking through my truck, and I was, I mother effed everything at the end of the night because I was so disappointed that the crowd could not physically hear, the music that we were playing before. But then I thought positively, okay, how can I turn this negative into positive? That's the same playlist I'm going to stay with next year, as long as the Chambers lets me be a part of it. And I want to make this very clear right now. I was not doing this to tick off anybody at the city building, not to tick off anybody at the Wheeling Chambers. I wasn't trying to show up anybody. I was trying to send a message that, listen, you guys are forced to have to cancel things because the CDC, the health departments, the insurance policies. I don't work for anybody. I don't work for this station. I can do whatever I want to do within reason, and if I have consequences, then I take responsibility for them. But my message, it goes back to what I said earlier. Music saves the soul in so many ways, and the Valley needed something positive. We hit almost 10,000 views on my DJ page from doing that. We got the second round of the live feed right when Gage, I was like, Gage, you gotta sing it again, Sings it 3 times. Finally, the third time, we're live feeding it, and it turns out really good. Go down through, I get to see my son at the Capitol. Played another B.E. Taylor song as we're passing the Capitol because I thought of B.E. Taylor. I thought about years past being in the parade. I thought of local business. I mean, there were so many raw emotions going on through me. I don't know how I kept it together. I mean, I'm still keeping it together now, I'm not crying. But I mean, eventually I'll probably have a breakdown as I reflect. But it was just such an emotional time. I looked over and saw my dad on the opposite side. He's just shaking his head. He's like, you son of a word I can't say, And we get down through River City, and we're done. We got through it. We got back to my aunt's house, and I thanked her because we don't send these floats away to get. We build them as we go, and it was such an emotional day. And I know we're getting ready to take a break real quick. Trisha, you're gonna hang out with us for the day. You don't mind? You don't mind hanging out with us for the day?
The whole day.
Well, until about 3, about,
You can
about
have
3,
my
4, 5
turkey.
o'clock. You
You can have my turkey.
Yeah, she doesn't want to baste the turkey. You're sticking your hand in the turkey.
No, I'm not.
We've got a live. We don't have live turkeys. We have 3 turkeys that are thawed, ready to get stuffed. And I'm going to tell you the rest of the weekend when you come back. You guys are listening to the Watchdog right now. Is it good? Are we allowed to take a break?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, we're going to take a break. More to come on this just emotional, crazy weekend we had here in the Ohio Valley. Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge. Hey, buddy! Yeah? You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
You got it!
Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go, 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure, I mean, you being a mountain climber and all,
Yep,
you probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
yep.
Hey, Ben,
Yeah!
ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Throughout the Ohio Valley, back to school is looking different. Each day, parents, teachers, students, coaches, and administrators are finding solutions to situations that are unprecedented. All of us at the Highlands appreciate everything you are doing and are here for the items you need. Visit hitthehighlands.com for the current guidelines and updated contact information of our retailers and restaurants.
Toyotathon is on. Now's the best time to visit your Toyota dealer and to save big on the car, truck, or SUV you've been dreaming of. Like an off-road ready 21 4Runner, a 21 Tacoma, or a 21 RAV with available all-wheel drive. All with $1,000 cash back from Toyota. Take $1,000 back on a 21 gas model Corolla or $1,500 on a hybrid. Or a Highlander with seating for 8 and take up to $2,500 cash back. Take $2,000 cash back on a sporty new 2020 gas model Camry or $3,000 on a hybrid model Camry. Visit buyatoyota.com, Toyota's official website for deals, to check out inventory, build your own Toyota, and to find a dealer near you. All to help make buying or leasing your next Toyota easy and affordable. You can take cash back or apply toward down payment. Offers exclude TRD Pro models and hybrid offers vary. See your dealer for details. Toyotathon is on, so hurry, go see your Toyota dealer today. Offers end November 30th. Toyota, let's go places.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Save big during the Black Friday sales event at Thomas Auto Centers. Choose from over 80 in-stock certified pre-owned Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. Get a 2017 Grand Cherokee Limited, 25,000 miles, sunroof, and leather heated seats, just $29,900. Or a 2019 Cherokee Latitude Plus, only 19,000 miles and local trade-in, just $25,228 at Thomas Auto Centers.
Get the best deal. Thomas Auto Center.
Ball Road, St. Clairsville.
In a hurry and need to see a doctor? The Woodsdale Health Center and Walk-In Clinic is located across from Little Caesars on National Road. Open 7 to 7 Monday through Friday. Patients can receive primary care, treatment of minor illnesses and injuries, wellness visits and physicals. There's also a lab draw station open from 8 to noon weekdays. A division of Wheeling Hospital, the Woodsdale Health Center is led by family physician Dr. Michael Wilson. Call 304-234-1971. They'll take good care of you.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to
Are you struggling to make payments due to an unexpected financial obligation or loss of income? Are you receiving calls from debt collectors? Are you feeling overwhelmed and unsure of what steps to take next? Then you need the experience and expertise of attorney Tom McIntyre and his staff to help guide you through these temporary hardships. Want to hear more about how Tom can help? Then call 877-456-4155 and receive a free copy of Tom's ebook, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. Tom's ebook covers many questions people have about bankruptcy and includes interesting stories about people who tried to avoid filing and people who have filed for bankruptcy. We think you'll be surprised to learn some interesting facts about bankruptcy. Call 877-456-4155.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Shauna Johnson. No new restriction announcements to try to limit coronavirus spread are coming at this point from Governor Jim Justice as we get closer and closer to Thanksgiving Day. His mask mandate does remain in effect, requiring face coverings in public places, even when people can keep away from others, with some exceptions. This week, U.S. District Judge Robert Chambers is rejecting a challenge to that mandate from a Putnam County restaurant owner who claims the mandate violates federal constitutional protections. Metro News statewide correspondent Brad McElhaney says it probably won't be the last legal challenge to pandemic orders.
People on both sides saying they're too restrictive or not restrictive enough. So there are a lot of ways to challenge this in the court system. And, frankly, there probably needs to be a public discussion about what is proper and adequate and what isn't.
Attorneys for the owner of Bridge Cafe and Bistro in Hurricane argued in court Governor Justice was overreaching. They're counting ballots again in Marion County. Requested recounts for races from the November 3rd general election for Marion County Sheriff and Marion County Commissioner. Buck firearms season continues today across the Mountain State. A cloudy, dry day for many. Forecasters say widespread rain moves in tomorrow night. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Morgantown is the initial chosen site for a new green technology manufacturing base. It's a partnership between DST Innovations and Blue Rock Manufacturing that Governor Jim Justice says could result in the creation of up to 1,000 manufacturing and technology jobs, maybe more.
It may take time, real time, for you to get there. I get all that and everything. But absolutely, the multiplier effect of those jobs is unbelievable.
From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Shauna Johnson.
Hi, this is Hoppy Kercheval. Join me weekdays at 10:06, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe for Statewide Talkline. I'll have guests, conversations, texts, phone calls, and all the big stories affecting West Virginia. So tune in weekdays right here on FM 98.1 and FM 97.7, The Watchdog.
Doctor said he ain't got long. He just smiled and said, bring it on. Well, if you think I'm scared, you got me on. No, a little cancer can't break me. My heart's rhyming, I believe. We all hit our knees and started praying. Lord, he never gave up. Santa Claus waiting. That's for hell, amen. That's the only way to go. Fighting the good fight till the good Lord calls you home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Watchdog Afternoon Drive. My name is DJ Danner, taking you through up until 5 p.m. here on the bottom of the hour right there. Felt like it was just a fitting song to play right there. Brantley Gilbert, one of the last artists, too, that I got to see in concert back in February. Had no idea at the time, of course, COVID was going to be a thing. And we were up in Youngstown, and I remember videoing that performance, and I said, everybody has their churches. This one's mine. This is my sanctuary right here. And how the weekend unfolded. I started making the playlist last night for today, and I was like, you know what? I want to have that song in there right there. So, ladies, get back to the weekend here. So we got done obviously with our own Christmas parade in downtown Wheeling on Friday night. Got everything tore down very quickly, and like I said, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Cleric, Kevin, Cyrus, Woody, my Aunt Deb for letting me always use her house and her stuff. Everybody that kind of participated in that. And Trisha is here in studio, Capes and Tierra. Let me use the Santa outfit, and I'm very appreciative of that. And I was excited you wanted to come in today. It's awesome to have you. As we got into to Saturday, was my last wedding of the year, as of right now at least. I played at a venue that basically just forked over the keys to the renter and said, "Here you go. We see nothing, we hear nothing." They had about 80 people. It was a party at the end of the night. I'm not gonna lie. Knowing that I was stripped of this coming Wednesday, I could not play, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Knowing that the other weddings I had lined up the rest of the year were already reschedules and postponements because now COVID's getting a little bit more serious because we're getting into winter. Ended it the best way I could, and I was very excited for the wedding couple, and I just keep their names off the air. I'm not going to acknowledge who they were. I'm not going to acknowledge even what city I was in. But it was a good time for sure. And I do want to let everybody know too. Football is still potentially happening coming up this weekend. So I did get tested. I knew it was going to be a red flag. Everything that happened Friday, and then obviously Saturday, and then coming in here and talking about it, I was like, I know that people are going to maybe not everybody, but maybe one or two, and I really want to kind of kill that quickly with those one or two people that might say something about all the people I've been around. So I have been tested for COVID. It came back negative, so I'm good to go. We might have a potential football game this weekend. We'll talk about that at 3 o'clock window. So I felt like it was just the best thing to kind of do at the time, was just as a precaution. So then I called a buddy, and he goes, "Man, because I know how much this weekend's been to you," and he goes, "Why don't you come out and have a couple drinks?" So went out and met him up in Brilliant, Ohio, him and his wife, and they were a wedding couple that I DJ'd their wedding, and now he's like one of my closest friends. And so I went and saw Brian and Erica and sat and talked, and then I came home, and by the time I got home, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and then that's when news had broke about Declan passing away. His grandfather had posted about 12:15 that he had passed away, and just everything kind of floodgates opened up at that point, because it was like, man, we were just down there on Friday, and we knew we didn't have that much more time, but we just didn't. You don't expect it to happen the same weekend, I guess. And, you read the story about how everything unfolded, and, I was texting everybody at 3 o'clock. Everybody's sleeping but me, obviously. But I was texting our crew and telling everybody, and, it sucks. I mean, there's no other way of saying it. He's free of pain. It's about the only good thing that's coming out of it, is that you can say he's free of pain now. But it was definitely emotional. And then I think back to, Sunday was, a reflection of me about what this whole week meant to me, ladies. And, I'm sharing stories now that, I've never shared before. So this weekend's always been special to me because, one, we always used to go out and party all the time on night before Thanksgiving. Night before Thanksgiving, biggest party night of the year. Always used to go out and party. And I had just bought my house back in 2009. And back then, the idea and the game plan was always you started Undo's in St. Clairsville, because that was a happening place in St. C at the time. There was another bar in St. C too, but they shut down. It was downtown St. C, but I can't remember the name of that right off the top of my head. So we'd start there. Then we'd go to Shawnee's place, Flanagan's, over in Belair, party there. Then we'd kick back to Generations, and then we'd finish up with one of the other 2 bars in the Ohio Valley down on National Road. And it was just one of those things. It was like, okay, it's a normal, typical night. And I get a text message from Mike DePlaga, and he's like, "Hey, man," he goes, "how would you like to play tonight?" And he goes, "I'm thinking about canceling the acoustic act and giving you a shot." And I was like, "Absolutely." And I'm like, little did you know, I walked out and somebody clipped my truck glass last night. So I'm without a mirror, and I had the Colorado back then. I did not have my Silverado now. So I had a little tinier truck. And somebody had clipped it. So I had just gotten in my truck when he called. And I was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, originally I told him, he goes, "What are you doing tonight?" And I said, "Oh, we're going to hit up all the same spots." I said, "We'll be at your place eventually." And he's like, "How would you like to play?" And I was like, "Okay." And that was just a breakout night for me. I mean, like I went into that night and I was like, man, I'm not going to waste this moment. I'm going to enjoy it. And I knew everybody was bar hopping. And my goal was, can you keep everybody here now? Can I just keep everybody here and nobody leaves and this turns into the biggest, this turns into the biggest place in the Valley? And that was my goal that night. You know, we didn't accomplish that night. We still had a great crowd. I got some great pictures from it. But then the following years, it started to escalate to that was the spot. And I'm not being arrogant and cocky saying that, so please, ladies and gentlemen, listen, please do not take it that way at all. But I remember Mike would drive around and check the locations of the bars to see if they were busy. He'd come back and report to me at like 11 because that bar's shut down, that bar's got nobody. And we'd be maxed practically inside Generations.
That sounds like Michael.
And yeah, I mean, it was just, and we set on a base price. He was like, you know, back then he was like, I'm gonna pay you this. And I was like, heck yeah, that's awesome, you know? And, you know, he increased it a little bit after the years. And, you know, celebrating 10 years, I think of that year, last year was 12 years. This would have been 13. Or I'm sorry, no, this would have been 12. You know, that night always was special to me because then after that, later on today, we're going to have Candy from the Ohio Valley Malls calling. You know, that day, as soon as I get done, it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I have to go set up at the Ohio Valley Mall. And I play on, you know, Thanksgiving night, and we're into Black Friday. And then we'd have weddings on Friday. We'd have weddings on Saturday. So the weekend was just so busy. And then you add the Christmas parade that Friday before. So, I mean, there's that 10-day stretch to where I'm seeing around 30,000 people in the course of a 10-day window. And it was so cool because you see everybody and you get to talk and BS. Some people I only saw twice a year, and one of those times was during that 10-day stretch. And it was like, man, like, remember we used to do this back in the day, or hey, remember you used to come over here, and you know, we're not going to have that this year. You know, I didn't get the big thing on Friday. Nobody got the main Wheeling Christmas parade on Friday. You know, Wednesday night's not happening. I've been officially shut down. It's not going to happen. Which I had talked to Mike a couple weeks ago. I was like, you know, hey, I was like, what's the chances? I said, do we go into this not marketing? I said, just don't tell anybody, and just we get what we get, and then just close it early. You know, what do we do? And he just thought it was best to just. I can't gamble on it, and I completely respect his decision on that. But, you know, and that's why I joked when you texted me about, can I get the Santa suit today? Because you saw my post last night. I said, I want to bounce out and go to Nashville. I was like, I just want to get out of here for the night because I know I'm going to be so bummed tomorrow night not getting to play. Candy's like, well, go just rest. And I'm like, you don't understand. This isn't one of those. I've rested a lot this year because of COVID. I was like, it's not one of those nights I can just turn an off switch off, you know, on. It just can't happen. You know, I was like, that fire's still in you to want to play and stuff. You know, we've added Razor to that show. Gage played last year for the first time. And, you know, you try to control the crowd as much as you can. You're like, no fights. You have keywords with your security. And I think back to the security that worked at Generations, those guys that, you know, meant so much to me, the cops that I met that worked out there those nights that I got to meet. You know, eventually I'd have one of the security guys on stage with me, you know, where you couldn't get on stage anymore because it was just too much of people were spilling drinks on the stage at parts, and we have all these wires, and then you add guitar players to it, and it just makes it, you know, too much of a mess. But yeah, so I mean, like, you know, Sunday was just a reflection of that, and then I think back at this weekend, and you know, obviously with what happened with Declan, and now this is the second time I've had to, you know, see someone, you know, pass away during this year, and you know, another one. You know, I think about my grandfather a lot because he actually, my son was born in 14. Back in 13, I'm playing night before Thanksgiving at Generations. You know, I get a call from one of the relatives, hey, you gotta, you know, your grandfather's in the hospital. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'll come see him tomorrow. You know, I'm like, and I'm sitting, I'm like, I can't walk out of here right now. You know, and I'm programmed differently too. When I say music saves the soul, music's a distraction away from things that are really going on in your life that are bad. It would have to take something to happen to my son for me to just walk out of a gig. Like something happens to my mom and dad, I'm not programmed to just turn off switch on. I'd still be at work. So, you know, I called another relative and I said, you know, what's going on? That one kind of calmed me down a little bit and was like, you know, hey, like, it'll be all right. Just don't worry about it. Just, you know, finish out your night. We'll see you tomorrow. So I get through the night, 4 o'clock in the morning, roll in, don't even go to sleep. You know, I go right to High Valley Mall, start setting up, and it's a big production to set up. So by the time I get halfway done, I get a phone call from my aunt. I'm sorry, from my cousin Heather, and she's like, "They're keeping him on until you get here." And I said, "What?" And I ran out there, and at that point, hopped in the truck, trailer. I was going 95 on it. I did not care. Got to the hospital, ran in the hospital. Second time I've ever done that. Ran in the hospital, got up there, and just, emotionally broke down. I can hold it together now because it's been so long. And this is the first time I'm ever sharing this story. So, held his hand, told the family something which will remain private. Everybody was there except for my one uncle. And he died about 5 minutes later. And my aunt, I think, was the one holding his hand. My Aunt Deb was the one holding his hand. And he had, I think, pneumonia, bronchitis, and something else, like the flu. He had like 3 things that hit him. And this man moved. I mean, if you lived down in South Wheeling, you saw my grandfather walking up and down. I wouldn't trust him driving whatsoever. Not happening. He's one of those ones I'm like, you need to retake that test, Pap. Just after a certain age, you got to retake your test. But he would walk up and down. He was always moving, and that's why I always said, I'm like, if I go, I feel like I'm going to go like him because I'm always moving too. But it was a punch in the gut, and then it happened on Thanksgiving. So I'm trying to, I can't call off at the mall. I can't tell them, hey, listen, by the way, now I had this. I got 2 weddings after that on Friday and Saturday. So I'm like, I told the family, I was like, I hate to ask you. I said, stay off social media. I said, I don't want people coming up to me saying, I'm so sorry for your loss, or giving me that look, or I was like, I just want to get through this weekend. Let me get through the weekend. So we got through, we went down to my aunt's for Thanksgiving. I mean, it was just, you walked in, it was just, just silence. And my uncle's side of the family, they were there. They were trying to condole and stuff. The best they can do. You know what I mean? It's what do you say in that point? You know what I mean? Like, just, he was walking fine the other day, and then all of a sudden he just gets taken out like the way he did. I pull it together. I get to work, and again, there's something with music, with me at least, that I can just flip the switch, and I flip the switch, and seeing all those people helped. Interacting with everybody, that helped. And then we got to the wedding. One person at the wedding was working catering. It was at the Hellenic Center. And she's like, hey, she goes, I didn't talk to your aunt. She goes, how's your grand? And I was like, can't do it. I'm like, can't talk about it right now. I said, don't go there right now. And she goes, what happened? I said, I gotta get through this. I said, and then she had found out later what happened, and she was like, I said, stay away. I was like, I appreciate it. I love you, but stay away right now. Can't do it. So get through that whole weekend. Then we had the funeral on Monday. I think it was Monday. And my sister, who's my half-sister, who's not related to my mom's side of the family, she presented the flag because my grandfather was in the Navy. She presented the flag to my uncle. And that's when everything just came out at that point. Because I was so proud of my sister for what she was doing for the country. And then you think of my grandfather, and then just, man, everything just came out then at that point. So, I mean, that ties into this weekend this whole week too with me. And, this weekend just added to it. Like, I'll never forget what we got to do on Friday. I'll never forget the wedding couple on Saturday. And I'll never forget, just how everything just unfolded. And, my hearts and prayers go out to Declan and his family. I know the funeral's coming up, of course, this week and stuff. And no parent should have to go through that. No family should have to go through that. But, we're here for you. We support you guys. And, I'm glad I got to share all these other stories too, because, maybe, Lola, when somebody looks at me and says, oh, I think that guy's like this. No, you don't really know me. You don't know really where my heart's at. You see an image or you see this look at me at certain events, and you get to really know the real me. It's, I got a heart just like everybody else. And, this weekend, it's a bummer what's going on. I'll miss seeing everybody on Wednesday. We'll still do the mall thing, of course. I know Martins Ferry's parade's canceled. We had talked to them. I actually talked to one of the guys in town. I said, look, you guys want me to live stream I said, I'll live stream the parade. And they ended up having to cancel it because of just insurance policies and the worry. And I was like, you guys don't have to cancel everything. Like, listen, if you have to take it out of your hands, that's fine. Let some of us others take it over then for the 1 year, just so we give something to the community. And I told, it was Dan Stevens who I was talking to. I was like, Dan, I said, I don't want you guys to think that, I don't want to do anything over here in Martins Ferry. I said, you guys always see me do stuff in Wheeling. I said, that's where I'm from. That's where my roots are. I said, but I still live over here. I said, I'll help you guys out if you guys need some help or you guys want to do something. I said, I'll help out the community over here too. I said, Martins Ferry, just as much as family to me as Wheeling is. And, unfortunately, like I said, they had to cancel theirs on Friday. Our gun bash, I don't think we're going to be doing that virtual one on Friday because we didn't sell all of our tickets yet. So we're going to have to extend that out probably until the week before Christmas, it looks like, because we have to sell those tickets. We don't sell those tickets, I can't fork over $12,000 for all the guns. And I don't know if you heard yet, but I lost about 80% of my income this year. That's a joke, Trisha, too, by the way. So, yes, Cyrus, when he comes in, he'll explain to you that joke. It's a true statement, but we always just make a joke out of it here in the studio. But, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed kind of listening to how I broke down what happened last weekend and why this week is so special and so important to me. And I want to wish, again, everybody happy Thanksgiving. More to come on the show. We are going to stuff turkeys on the radio today. That is going to happen. We're going to talk sports, and we're going to talk best memes I've seen coming up. You're listening to The Watchdog.